Yeah, good morning. So we're continuing the topic now. We are going for the human circulatory system. So if we see the human circulatory system, it consists of muscular four-chambered heart. Okay, it consists of muscular four-chambered heart, network of blood vessels, and blood. Then we take the structure of heart. Origin of the heart is mesoderm. The heart of human beings is derived from the mesoderm, and it is a thick-walled muscular pulsatile organ. Pulsatile organ means it can contract and relax. Okay, where the heart is present means the heart is present in the thoracic cavity or in the thoracic region in a space called as mediastinum. So mediastinum. So the heart is present in between the two lungs in a space called as mediastinum, slightly tilted towards the left side. Then we see the size of heart. Size of heart is of your fist, that is clenched fist. So that is the size of. Okay. Then heart is covered by a double layered protective cover called as pericardium. So the heart is covered by a double layered protective membrane. The double layered protective membrane is called as pericardium. Outer layer of the outer layer of pericardium is called as fibrous layer, and inner layer is called as serous layer. Okay, this serous layer again contains two layers, that is outer parietal pericardium and inner visceral pericardium. Okay, so again, if you see the wall of heart, the wall of heart contains three layers. The outer layer is called as epicardium, middle layer is called as myocardium. So the myocardium itself is made up of with cardiac muscle, and inner layer is called as endocardium. Endocardium is made up of with endothelium. This endothelium is also lines the heart valves and inner surface of the blood vessels. Right. So you can see here, these are the layers of the heart present here. So this one is the outer fibrous pericardium, inner serous pericardium, and innermost is visceral pericardium. In between the serous and that is the visceral and what we can say parietal and visceral pericardium, there is a space called as pericardial space. This pericardial space is filled up with completely, this one is the pericardial fluid. So what is the function of pericardial fluid means pericardial fluid prevents the friction during the contractions and relaxations of the heart. And this one is called as myocardium, and myocardium is made up of with cardiac muscle. Okay, and an inner layer is called as endocardium. Endocardium is made up of with endothelium. So these are the layers of the heart. So let us see the external structure of the heart. The human heart consists of four chambers. Okay, the human heart consists of four chambers. There are two upper chambers called as atria and two lower chambers called as ventricles. Okay, so here there are this one is the atria, these two chambers are atria, and these two chambers are ventricles. So we take the two atria are two, number two, these are upper chambers or superior chambers. Okay, they receive the blood, so we can call them as a blood receiving chambers, and the wall of atria is thin walled. Then we see the ventricles. Ventricles are also two chambers. They are posterior chambers or lower chambers or inferior chambers. Then these are blood pumping chambers. Okay, and they are blood pumping chambers, and the wall of ventricles is thick walled. Okay, then the atria are externally separated by coronary sulcus. Externally, the two atria are separated by coronary sulcus, and the two ventricles are separated by interventricular grooves. Okay, interventricular grooves. So we see the wall of the left ventricle. The wall of the left ventricle is slightly thicker than the right ventricle because the left ventricle should pump the blood to farther distances. Okay, so the left ventricle should pump the blood to distant. Then how these ventricles are separated? If you see the internal septa, I want to go for a diagrammatic representation here. Right. So the two ventricles are internally separated by an interatrial septa. The black color one is the interatrial septa. Okay. Then this interatrial septa consists of an aperture in the embryonic stages. The red color circle is an aperture present in the embryonic stages. So this red color aperture present in the embryonic stages is called as foramen ovale. We are calling that one as foramen ovale. So in embryonic stages, blood from right atrium flows into the left atrium. Blood from right atrium, from here to here, the blood is flowing. But once the lungs begins to function, or just before the birth, this foramen ovale closes and leaves a patch called as fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis. Okay. Then the interatrial septa also consists of a node called as atrioventricular node. Near the interatrial septa, a node is present called as atrioventricular node. Then, if you see the two ventricles are separated by interventricular septa. The two ventricles are separated by interventricular septa. So, in the interventricular septa, there is a bundle called as bundle of His. In the interventricular septa, there is a bundle. The bundle is called as bundle of His. Bundle of His arises from the atrioventricular node. From atrioventricular node, the bundle of His passes into the interventricular septa. Okay, in the interventricular septa, the bundle of His divides into two branches called as bundle branch. They are called as bundle branch. Okay, now the atria and ventricles are separated by atrioventricular septa. So this one, yellow color one is the atrioventricular septa. The both atria and ventricles are separated by atrioventricular septa. This atrioventricular septa consists of an aperture called as atrioventricular aperture. So right side aperture is called as right atrioventricular aperture. Okay, right AV aperture, and left side aperture is called as left atrioventricular aperture. So the right atrioventricular aperture is guarded by tricuspid valve. The right atrioventricular aperture is guarded by tricuspid valve, and left atrioventricular aperture is guarded by bicuspid valve. This bicuspid valve is also called as mitral valve. Then, right, we'll go for the next one. Then we see the right atrium. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body through two caval veins. So this one is the right atrium. Here the heart is present. I'll go for a fresh diagram. Yeah. So if you see the right atrium receives deoxygenated blood through different parts of the body. So it is receiving deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body through two major veins. They are called as superior vena cava. This one is called as superior vena cava or precaval vein. And this one is called as inferior vena cava or postcaval vein. and the left atrium receives the blood from four pulmonary veins or two pairs of pulmonary veins. So the left atrium receives oxygenated blood from two pairs of pulmonary veins. And the heart also receives blood from myocardium through coronary sinus. Okay, coronary sinus. So the blood from myocardium is collected by coronary veins. Coronary veins. So these coronary veins opens into coronary sinus, and coronary sinus opens into right atrium. Right. Now let us see the location of the valves and which is opening into which part. So for example, we take the right atrium. So what are opening into the right atrium? Okay. Into the right atrium, there is the opening of superior vena cava. Superior vena cava means that is the precaval vein which is carrying the blood from upper parts of the body. The superior vena cava does not have walls. Very important point this one. Then opening of inferior vena cava. That means inferior vena cava is also called as postcaval vein. Inferior vena cava is guarded by Eustachian wall. So Eustachian wall guards the inferior vena cava only in the embryonic stages. Third one, opening of coronary sinus. So opening of coronary sinus is guarded by valve of Thebetius. Valves are very important for the NEET examination. Then we see the left atrium. Into the left atrium, which blood vessels are opening? Left atrium receives the oxygenated blood from pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins are not guarded by any valves, so valves are absent. Between right atrium and right ventricle, there is right atrioventricular aperture guarded by tricuspid valve. Between left atrium and left ventricle, there is left atrioventricular aperture guarded by bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Let us go for the next one. So from the right ventricle, a pulmonary aorta arises. Okay, opening of pulmonary aorta. The opening of pulmonary aorta is guarded by three semilunar valves. And this is the left atrium. From left atrium, the systemic arch arises. Opening of systemic arch is also guarded by three semilunar valves. So we see the blood. Blood is collected by vena cava. So from head, forelimbs and thorax, the blood is collected by superior vena cava or supra precaval vein. Okay. Hind limbs and abdomen, inferior vena cava or post caval vein. Okay. From hind limbs and abdomen, the blood is collected by inferior vena cava. Then from the muscles of the heart, the deoxygenated blood is collected by four coronary veins. These four coronary veins opens into one coronary sinus, and this one coronary sinus opens into right atrium. So opening of this coronary sinus into right atrium is guarded by valve of Thebetius. It is guarded by valve of Thebetius. Now let's go for the next one, ventricles. Ventricles are thick-walled blood pumping chambers. Remember that. Ventricles are thick-walled blood pumping chambers. The two chambers are separated by interventricular septa. So I'll show you in the diagram that one. Yeah. So this is the ventricles. The two chambers are separated by interventricular septa. I'll draw a fresh diagram so that it will be easy for us to explain. So right? So if you see the wall of ventricles, the wall of ventricles consists of small muscular projections called as columnae cornea. So these are the small muscular projections. These small muscular projections are called as columnae cornea. So let me write that name. So these are the columnae cornea. Okay. In between the columnae cornea, there are finger-like projections called as papillary muscles. Okay. Then these papillary muscles are attached to, so here I am writing, these are the AV walls. These are the AV walls. Papillary muscles are attached to the AV walls by heart strings. They are attached to the AV walls by heart strings. The heart strings are called as chordae tendineae. So what is the function of this chordae tendineae means? Chordae tendineae prevents too much bulging of AV walls during ventricular contraction. So when the ventricular contraction begins, the chordae tendineae prevents too much bulging of AV walls into the atria. So that is the function of the heart strings or chordae tendineae. So they will be asking you what is meant by chordae tendineae, what are columnae cornea, what are papillary muscles also. Right, we'll go for the next one. Aortic arches. So aortic arches are large blood vessels arising from ventricles. Okay, there are two aortic arches. One is pulmonary aorta, one is systemic aorta. So if you take the pulmonary aorta arises from the right ventricle. This pulmonary aorta carries deoxygenated blood. So this pulmonary aorta carries deoxygenated blood to lungs. Okay. The opening of this pulmonary aorta from ventricles is guarded by three semilunar valves. Very important. Okay. Then we go for the next one, systemic aorta. Systemic aorta arises from the left ventricle. And the systemic aorta carries oxygenated blood. Okay, it carries oxygenated blood from where to where? It carries oxygenated blood to all parts of the body except lungs. Then the opening of the systemic aorta is also guarded by three semilunar valves. Okay. Next one is nodal tissue. So nodal tissue is modified cardiac muscle. Okay. So nodal tissue is made up of with specialized cardiac muscle, or it is nothing but it is a modified cardiac muscle. So this nodal tissue is also called as sinoatrial node. The sinoatrial node acts as the pacemaker, and the sinoatrial node or pacemaker is auto-regulated. That means the heart is auto-regulated. So the sinoatrial node can generate action potentials without external stimuli. So where it is present? The sinoatrial node is present in the right atrium, in the wall of right atrium, in the uppermost part of the right atrium on the right side. Okay, so very important question, that one. They are present in the wall of right atrium on the upper part on the right side. Okay. So you can see in the diagrammatic representation here, sinoatrial node position is right upper part of right atrium, close to the opening of superior vena cava. This is the sinoatrial node. Okay, this sinoatrial node can generate action potentials without external stimuli. When does it can generate action potentials without external stimuli? Means when both the atria are completely filled up with the blood. When both the atria are completely filled up with the blood, pressure inside the atria increases, then an action potential is generated in the sinoatrial node. Okay, the sinoatrial node is myogenic because it is a modified cardiac muscle, and sinoatrial node acts as the pacemaker. So the number of pacemakers in man is only one. So how many pacemakers are present in man means there is only one pacemaker. Okay, so rate of generation of action potentials by sinoatrial node is 70 to 75 times per minute on an average it generates 72 times. So as the heartbeat is regulated by sinoatrial node, this type of heart is called as myogenic heart. Why I am calling this one as myogenic heart? Because it is regulated by cardiac muscle. Then there is one more word also called neurogenic heart. Neurogenic heartbeat is regulated by nervous system. So we can see the neurogenic heart in the cockroaches. Okay. So next one is AV node. AV node. AV node is not a pacemaker. Remember that. AV node is present in the right atrium, very nearer to the very nearer to the interatrial septum. Okay, and this AV node acts as a relay station between the sinoatrial node and ventricles. That means it conducts the impulses generated by sinoatrial node into the ventricles. Okay, from AV node, there muscle fiber arises. So this you can see, I will represent with yellow color. You can see clearly. Identify this is the AV node. From AV node, a muscle fiber arises. Remember that it is a muscle fiber, not the nerve. This muscle fiber is called as bundle of His. Okay, this bundle of His divides into two branches in the interventricular septum. So it is dividing into two branches like this. They are called as bundle branches. Okay, these bundle branches spread as thin fibers on the wall of ventricles as Purkinje fibers. Okay, the bundle branches again spreads on the wall of ventricles as thin fibers called as Purkinje fibers. So the heartbeat begins in the sinoatrial node. From sinoatrial node, the atria will contract. From atria, the action potential reaches to the AV node. From AV node, bundle of His to bundle branches. From bundle branches to Purkinje fibers. When the action potential reaches to the Purkinje fibers, at that time only the two ventricles will contract. Let's see the next one. So atrioventricular node, just now we discussed about this one. So position, they'll be asking you one question. Left lower portion of right atrium close to the opening of coronary sinus. AV node acts as relay point between sinoatrial node and ventricular musculature. So AV node electrically connects atria and ventricles. So bundle of His, just now we discussed that. Origin of bundle of His is from AV node, passes through interventricular septa and divided into two branches called as bundle branches. These bundle branches spread on the wall of ventricles as Purkinje fibers. Okay. Okay. Then stroke volume. So this one we'll go to later. That completes about the what we call